Hello, LEGO fans. Bricks Unbound here with a Building Hogwarts update. And today we have finally started raising up the other half of the castle. So this section has actually been up on those supports for quite a while, but I ran out of the pieces I needed to raise up any more of the castle. But as you saw in the last update, I did receive my order. I didn't have enough time, however, to get everything raised up in between here because I got distracted and kept working on other little things around this section of the castle. But this has been elevated up quite a bit by about 15 bricks in height. So before, this section here was what was sitting down on the base plates. So that is a fair bit of height up they've gone. When we walk around to the other side, we'll be able to see the supports a little bit. Or I guess it's just using the exact same method I did here. So a couple support pieces, and then some bricks, and then some plates on top to stabilize everything so it doesn't shift side to side or anything if I bump the table. So that's what I did under here. And then I have covered up the front with some big, ugly rock pieces. This is not the final version of the rock work. It'll be covered over with slope pieces and other little bits to give it a little bit of color, but this is the kind of base layer to it, and then it'll get livened up a little bit. So don't worry about all the hard corners and things you're seeing down there. So that did involve building everything from here down, which included, of course, extending parts of the wall so it wasn't quite as much of a flat cutoff between the rocks and then the structure itself. But that took way more time than I thought it was going to take. We'll walk around here and look at it from the other side as well. And there's the Defense Against Dark Arts tower. Still just missing these pieces. I thought I'd placed an order for those, but I think it was actually a bricks and pieces order from LEGO's website, and those take a couple months to get to me, so that'll just be unfinished for a while. But anyway, so now we're over here, and we can see a little bit more of what I meant by I kept getting distracted working in random things. Because there's this gatehouse thing sitting here. Not the final version of that either, but it is approximately the size that I was wanting. I might narrow it up just a little bit. But what it is that there's a bridge. The suspension bridge goes from these doors over to here. Outlined still by this just random assortment of plates. So that's where the bridge is approximately going to be. It'll line up about here with this. And then that gets you into this section of the castle around where the quad courtyard will be above everything here. But now we can get a good look at what I did for the supports, and like the ones that are underneath or on the outside edge, I guess it is, they'll all get replaced with rock pieces. So the burp pieces, big ugly rock pieces to start with, and then throwing layers of detail over that until it's less apparent that it started out as one big piece. So like I said, these outside supports, they'll get replaced with these rock pieces to cover it up. And then inside, it's going to be fairly spaced out like this in the courtyard section as far as supports go, because there's not going to be a whole lot of weight sitting here. And then underneath the more proper sections of castle that are heavier, there's a little bit more support under those, or at least there will be, is the plan. So it might not look like a whole lot of progress yet, but it was a lot of hours of work to just elevate this section of the castle. Of course, I already had the Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone challenges under this section, so that was already raised up, which is great. This did give me an opportunity, though, to kind of look at what the first floors are for each of these. So this section over here is still empty. I think I mentioned before I'm planning on putting some of the less, I don't know if less popular, I guess that's accurate. It's basically only Hermione and like Ernie Macmillan, people who take it. But things like ancient runes or even Muggle studies, stuff like that is going to go in these kind of smaller sections of the castle. On this side, there's going to be the same type of situation where we've got a hallway that connects the different sections, and then just a couple of small classrooms off to the side. There's also always empty classrooms being mentioned in the books where Harry and company duck into to avoid Filch or Peeves or something. So things like that is mainly what the lower floors are going to be, because they're going to be harder to access from the exterior. Oh yeah, and here's the troll bathroom. Haven't actually seen down inside this for quite a while. It does hinge open. I do not own the newest version of the Great Hall that came with the like big fig version of a troll. So right now it still has my custom version of a troll in there, which is not great, but it does the job until I actually pick up that set. Kind of waiting for it to go on discount at some point. This section over here is just completely open. Thinking I am going to have a doorway here that leads into another room. That could be a bigger classroom of some kind. And then there'll be a little hallway that goes down to this section here. Eventually, I'm planning on having like actual spiral staircases built into the walls, kind of like what I did for the Owlery, where they'll spiral down to lower floors, because I could use some space under here to put even more rooms and things in. It's just a bunch of empty space right now. The challenge, of course, is it's going to be very hard to access at a later point. So it might end up covered up and buried and just be, there could be dungeons and things under there, but there aren't actually. You'll notice this cutout here. So this is actually where the door is. There's a door that goes out onto a bridge that spans this chasm. So that's this bridge here, and it'll be up quite high on the side of the castle, quite a bit higher than the suspension bridge here behind it, and even taller than the viaduct bridge there that connects these towers. So once I get the rockwork built in here, then I can build up this bridge to actually be the proper height and length and everything to connect those towers. I still do need to knock a hole out in the wall here so it actually has another doorway to enter. But that's what that gap is for. So next, I'm planning on just continuing to elevate sections of the castle over here. I think I'm going to go underneath the the staircase tower next to actually get that up to the correct height. It is pretty heavy, even though right now it's completely hollow on the inside. So fair amount of support under that. But that will let me kind of continue the rock work and supports around this section here where they'll curve and then get up to supporting the entrance courtyard over there. So lots more to work on to elevate things up. I also want to actually get this bridge built up. I have a pretty good idea of how I'm going to do it. So looking forward to getting that put together. But before I can really hang it in place, as it were, I do need to finish not all of the details in the rocks, but at least get the big ugly rock pieces in place here so that I can figure out how things are connecting. Need to do some revisions of this. I've seen a couple versions of this little gate house is what I'm calling it. I don't know what it's actually called. Maybe just the suspension bridge tower or something is probably the actual name. But I've seen a couple different versions. One is with doors like this, and that's closer to what it's like in the like the Xbox 360 Harry Potter games that I've been playing recently to get some angles of this part of the castle. It is a set of doors. Looks actually pretty close to what this looks like. I've also seen some where it's just kind of a big gap like what I have on the other side there. I am kind of partial to the doors here instead of just having a big gap that you can look into the courtyard through. If I want that, I can always just open the doors and look through. So I think it might stay similar to this. I just need to figure out sizing a little bit, but it's close enough to do the job for me figuring out spacing around the castle here. And then, of course, just lots of building up these sections because this back part of the courtyard is going to be, it's only going to be 16 studs wide, like these plates are. So it's not going to be a full enclosed section of the castle. This back wall will be open, which will let you look in at scenes and hallways and things. And then there'll be a tower here, or like half a tower here. And that's where the Gryffindor common room goes on the upper floors of it. So lots of work to go on still over here in the courtyard area for the quad, but it's been a lot of fun actually finally being able to raise it up. And once that's done, I can do a little bit more work on actually detailing interiors and building these other sections that just don't exist yet. So it's been fun. I hope you've been enjoying these updates as well. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and please keep coming back for more videos.